Hey, if you're having problems losing weight and you can't figure out why, well, today I'm going to give you some information on the chemical breakdown of how you actually lose weight. And hey, my name is Brian, aka Uncle B, and for the last 20 years I've been the men's performance coach with African Fly, the liquid aphrodisiac. And as a coach, one of the issues you always have to deal with is the weight loss problem. It's a problem for a lot of guys, for society, and basically because we don't look at it correctly, because we don't have the right information. I'm about to give you that information, and I'm quite sure you've never heard this before. Specifically, what I'm going to talk about is the chemical breakdown, how food coming in, air coming in, how that gets released, how you're actually losing the weight, not just counting calories. It's way more than that. And as a bonus tip, I'm going to tell you how you can use this information to your advantage. And as always, if you like what you hear, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell. And what I'm going to do is break this down till it cannot be broken anymore. All right, so when you lose weight, where does it go? And why don't you know the answer to that already? And the answer is, no more build up. You lose weight by breathing. And this isn't actually new. This was discovered in the late 1700s by Antoine Lavoie. I'm not even going to say his last name. But basically what he discovered is that we get rid of food and the waste that comes from that by breathing. We're breathing out CO2 and water. When you breathe out, 84% of it is coming out as CO2. The rest, the other 14%, is coming out as just water, as in either through your through sweat, urination, or defecation. And for a lot of people who just think, when you're taking a dump that is solid, it's mostly water. Now, this information is coming back out by a gentleman named Ruben Meerman. You can check him out. We're going to have some links available so you can check out his TED Talks below. But basically, he's broken it down, just the information that we need. So you're looking at, if you're trying to lose 22 pounds, well, 18 of those pounds is coming out through your breath. The remainder is just coming out through, like I said, your urination, your sweatation, your defecation. Now, whenever I tell people this, of course, the first thing they say, you mean I can lose weight just by breathing? And No, all you did was just hyperventilate. You're just going to make yourself feel dizzy and possibly fall out. So no, you're not going to do it by that. It takes more work than that. However, I'm going to get to the math of what happens when you're just sitting down and breathing also. So let's go ahead and break it down. You actually breathe 23,000 times a day. That's a lot. Every time you breathe, CO2 is coming out. Now, they've done a survey of doctors, dietitians, and trainers, and the vast majority of them don't know this information. They all tend to believe that fat turns into energy somehow, and that's not true at all. So when you're doing that breathing movement of inhale and exhaling, you're inhaling oxygen, you're exhaling CO2. And so basically you're inhaling 2 atoms, you're exhaling 3 atoms. So you're breathing out. What you breathe out weighs more. It's carrying that extra waste from your body. So let's just go ahead and get back into that chemistry. Oxygen is actually the waste product of plants. It's the waste product of the photosynthesis of plants. So plants are taking water from the soil, and the sunlight is breaking up that water. It's breaking up that H2O to give out that oxygen. So when we're talking about losing weight, when people are talking about, increasing their metabolism, burning fat, all you're talking about is increasing the amount of CO2 that's coming out. And just for those guys who are on the keto and all these different diet plans, it all comes out to the exact same thing. With the ketogenesis, it's a different route to having that carbon dioxide coming out, but it all is the same thing. All right, so let's talk about how you can use this information to your benefit. And the first thing is to realize that a lot of people don't know this. So whenever you're talking to a doctor, a dietitian, or a trainer, and they don't know this information, you have to be sort of suspect about what else they're saying, because obviously this is the basics. If you're trying to lose weight and you don't know where it goes, how can you prepare for it? How can you set the right regimen or training for it? So when we're talking about eating and what comes out, so basically the question is, how long does it take? So for example, let's take lemonade. Lemonade actually has a lot of sugar in it because it's lemon. You're trying to make that sweet. But let's take regular lemonade. It has about 70 grams of carbohydrates in it. In order for you to breathe that out just sitting still, it would take 4 hours. If you were to breathe that out while taking a walk, it's 1 hour. If you're actually going for a jog, it's 30 minutes. So you see the difference in intensity from sitting still for 4 hours or taking a jog for 30 minutes to get rid of that same 70 grams. This is the reason why high intensity interval training is so effective, because basically you're increasing that intensity from sitting still to the intensity of jogging. Imagine taking that even higher. So if you're jogging for 30 minutes, but you're actually, switching it up. So you're doing high intensity interval training for a quick 30 seconds where you're really increasing that intensity. More carbon dioxide is coming out. And of course you see the sweat, more water is coming out. That is how you're losing the weight. So when it comes down to it, when people say eat less, move more, that's the reason for it. So what you want to do is eat less, but move more with a high intensity interval training so you can speed this process up. Once you get to that point where you're like, that is when you're in weight loss mode. So in conclusion, you lose weight by breathing it out. 84% is coming out of your breath. The rest is coming out through water. When you're quote unquote burning fat, you're actually just increasing your metabolism. You're actually just breathing out more CO2. When you exhale, it's actually heavier than when you inhale. And the intensity of the exercise is what determines how much CO2 and water comes out. So, question of the day, did you know this? Did you know that the way you lose weight is through breathing? And I got a challenge for you. Send this out to some other people. See if they know. Does your trainer know this? Does your doctor know this? Does that person who keeps on giving you weight loss advice, do they know this? Because it's important as a basis. Everyone should know this piece of information. And as always, if you like what you heard, first of all, go ahead and leave a comment down below, but also make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell. This has been Uncle B saying, get your game up. Peace out.